Hi, I'm following along with Paul McCorder's Raspberry Pi Pico W lessons, and he's on number 80 and introduction to using the timers for blinking LEDs at different rates and everything, and using the timer objects that are inside of the MicroPython. I've been having fun watching the post. Everybody must really have been looking forward to this lesson because the homeworks came fast and furious. I think there's at least 4 or 5 of regulars that have posted some really good solutions that I've found. And um, so our homework was to make the blinking so that you could blink it uh, so you didn't have a even on and off. So you would have like a, a on time and an off time, and how you would handle that using our timers. Um, like I said, Scott had some great ideas. I can't remember who else I looked at, but there were several great ideas out there. Of course, Charlotte, she's always on top of things, and she has had one of the better ideas of doing it. And um, she does it. She has like she calls it her red blinker function that she has, and she's checking whether you need to be worried about the period on time or the period off time. And then she's running a one-shot timer here based on whether it's on time or off time, which is kind of really cool. Uh, she's bringing in global variables for doing that. Shame on you, Charlotte. Just kidding. But anyhow, yeah, so she did a great job on that. And um I looked at hers and I said, man, that's pretty good. But she did mention that she turns all her LEDs on down here before she does her timer. And I just happened to think, well, I think there's a better way of doing that. And I'll show you that in a minute. She's got her period as red on period, yellow on period, or whatever she's got there, red on. And so anyhow, but she had a really good idea, but I played around with it, and I also wanted to introduce I don't know whether Paul's going to get in this, but it's kind of cool. Let's get to my code before I start talking about it. So anyhow, so let's go to Thorny. And so I only got like 19 lines of code here, but I got it working. So my idea with Charlotte's thing was she had the period on her first initializing timer to be the on time. And that what she by doing that she had to turn the LEDs on first. So I've decided why not just make the on time period just 1 millisecond. That way it's going to go right to the timer. True, if you're fast enough to uh, be able to time 1 millisecond, then yes, they're not going on immediately. But once you do that, then you go up to your toggle and you can toggle it to on immediately. And then you can figure out whether you're on or off doing her else, that was a great solution that you had, Charlotte, for doing that. That's for sure. But anyhow, so I guess my addition besides that little one here was that I had played around with these a while back when we were doing regular Python and this lambda function, which when you're doing a regular callback on here, if you just call back and I'm using TCB for timer callback. If you used to use TCB in here for your callback, then you uh can't really pass anything except for the timer. It's looking for just one argument to your thing, so you can't really pass it anything. But if you do this lambda t, and I don't really know why it's lambda or whatever, but it's a uh some type of function, local function or something. I'm not really sure what it's all about. maybe somebody can tell me what it's all about in my comments. But what you're doing is basically you're getting that attribute that this timer's putting off, and it's getting as a T. And then with a lambda, you can call another function. So we are calling, instead of calling the TCB directly, we're calling it through our lambda function, and we're using this TCB. We're passing the T as a timer, but we're also passing, let's go down here to our first shot timers. So you're passing the T, and then we're passing your red LED object. You can pass just about anything in a function. You can pass a list, you can pass a dictionary, pretty much, big old document or whatever a dictionary document you have or something, or you can just pass numbers and everything on that. So what I'm passing is the timer, which we have to carry through to make it so that the function knows it's a timer. And then we're passing the red LED object, so we know that which object we're working on. We're passing an on time and we're passing an off time. These are in milliseconds. So by doing this, we can call the same object on each one of these. And because you're calling it a different time, you're actually calling three of these. So you're not calling it one right after the other. You'll actually have three of these objects working at the same time so that you can do it that way. And then I'm using pretty much Charlotte's great code here. And so I have a red lead. So when this timer fires, it's going to go up here called TCB. And what we have is our red lead. It's going to be just LED here. And then we can do LED.toggle, which this time it'll be the red LED. When you do this one and it calls TCB, it's going to be Y LED object up here. And LED is going to call the yellow one. Same way for when we're getting the value of that lead LED. And I'm just using P instead of period, just to shorten my code like I always do. And we're also on time. We got the 500 we're passing, and then off time 1,000. So we're doing that, and we're figuring out whether we need to pass to our one-shot timer, the on time or the off time. And then when we get to it, we're doing another lambda callback, and we're just all the stuff that's coming into our function, we're just passing it back out, and it's just going to loop back around. So once this red starts, it's going to continue to be a red each time it does this, and it's going to do red. But we're also starting up a yellow, and it's going to start a yellow, and it's going to be Y LED here, and it's going to pass the Y LED and the on time and off time for the yellow lead, and it's going to do it. And then the same way with the blue, we're going to do the blue, and it's going to stay blue because this is going to literally, this just creates a loop that we're doing because it's we're just calling back to it at the same function right from within the function. So we're calling it back. So that way you don't have to have a function for each color of your timer. It's automatically going to pick up which LED you're going to be talking about. So I didn't do any of the try except or anything, so my LEDs stay on at the end, but besides that, it's working fine. So let's just get it running and I can show you a little bit. So you can see that, oh, which way are they? There they go. The red LED is blinking kind of slow. The yellow LED is 100 milliseconds on and 200 milliseconds off. And the blue LED is 400 milliseconds on and just 100 milliseconds off. So you can see I got them all three running, and and you could add as many LEDs as you wanted by just adding one more timer to it, and it's automatically going to create, your your own loop for each one of these. And it's amazing that MicroPython can keep up with that. But if you had, like I think Paul said, 16 LEDs on your thing, you could probably create a new blink with each one of these. So it's sort of like a shortcut from using a class. You don't have to worry about getting all the class objects and everything. I know Charlotte did a lot of work making her blink class, but with the timers, you can kind of bypass all that by passing a lambda function and passing some attributes or arguments up to your function each time and then recalling them in their loop. Anyhow, that's my video for this week. Um, Building on the other students that are in here, I probably wouldn't have thought of this. And um, like I say, the one-shot timer, I was thinking more of doing a periodic timer down here and then doing a one-shot up here. But uh, uh, like Charlotte says, all you got to do is get it. This is just getting it started. And so that was pretty good. Anyhow, that's my homework. Thanks, Paul, for all you do. And thanks for all the students that are contributing. Have a great day, everybody.